Hi, everyone. I'm Frank Malakote. I'm an anchor for Fox's KTVU Fox 2 in the San Francisco Bay Area. My guest is the brewmaster at San Francisco's famed Anchor Brewery to talk about the beer business and how they are stepping up to help the US Bartenders Guild during the pandemic. His name is Scott Ungerman. He joins us. Scott, how are you?
Oh, I'm doing great. How about you?
I'm great. I have enjoyed your beer for a lot of years. But for those across the nation right now, tell us about Anchor Brewery and your famed Anchor Steam beer.
Okay, well, Anchor Brewery has been here in San Francisco since 1896. We trace our roots all the way back to Gold Rush times. The style of beer that we make, Anchor Steam beer, a prop here, Anchor Steam in a can. The style that we make is a unique style that's indigenous to San Francisco, really, and the California Gold Rush times. And it's a beautiful amber-colored lager that kind of has the aromatics of an ale, but drinks like a lager. It's refreshing, and it's a beautiful beer that really you can only get the original from our brewery in San Francisco.
And just for me, is the recipe pretty much the same over all those years, or has it been tweaked a little?
Yeah, we have maintained the same recipe from when Fritz Maytag bought the brewery in 1965, and he made some changes back then. But really, we've stayed true to Fritz's recipe through all these years, and we still ferment in open fermenters, which is a very San Francisco style of fermentation that produces a unique aromatic that really is complementary to the beer in a great way.
I did a little homework. Beer sales across the board are up in a big way as a lot of people shelter in place. How are you folks handling the shelter in place? And I imagine business is pretty good.
It's been interesting. It's definitely, when you hear beer sales are up, it's true, they're up, but they're up in grocery stores, and really packaged beer sales are up. But with all the bars and restaurants closed, the overall picture is actually not all that pretty. All the draft beer is sitting idle right now, and right. I know you may have heard about that. And so there's definitely a switch in what people are buying. So cans and cans to go doing great business. Bottles are doing fine. But all the draft beer is basically shut down at the current time. So we're running kind of an alternate schedule right now. We're not running full out, and we're maintaining the brewery and maintaining and our process with a minimal amount of people here who are dedicated and are paying attention to all of the safety precautions around social distancing and super tight control on we're always very tight control on cleanliness and sterilization and sanitation, but even higher now. Right. So it's been a shift. I'd definitely say that.
Is there a shelf life for draft beer if you've got a keg or on tap at bars now? Can they, in another month or two, is that still good, or does that go bad?
It depends on the type of beer and the way it was packaged and whether it was flash pasteurized or not. We have 180-day shelf life on our beer, so it can extend through this, but there's going to be a time when, especially, there are some packages out there that are shorter shelf lives than that, and now we're 6 weeks into all the bars being closed, and we don't know when they're going to reopen. And so any beer that's been sitting there on tap and the lines haven't been cleaned, that's got to be pulled. The partial keg's got to be dumped. The lines have got to be cleaned. You got to hook it all back up again. So there's going to be a massive undertaking to get all these bars back up and running.
I guess. Now, Anchor Brewery is a good size beer company. Let's talk about maybe some of the microbrews. There are, thousands across the nation. I think there may be 1,000 in California for all I know, but some of the smaller breweries really depend upon people coming in, having a glass or two at the bar or at a tasting room, and going home with a case or a couple of six-packs. Some of them are hurting, I bet.
Yeah, and a lot of them have shifted to the same thing we're doing here, which is selling beer to go. We got Growlers here, so a can that you can fill we can fill right here from the bar. And, here's the big one, the 32 ouncer. And so you can take draft beer, you can put it in a can, you can have it steamed, and you can sell that to go. And so breweries are doing that, and they're selling crowlers and growlers and packaged beer, like I said, the can. You can buy a can to go or something like that. So breweries that have that capability have that leg up. The ones that just have draft and don't have food, they really had to shut down. So any place with food can still sell food to go, and they can sell beer to go along with that food to go. So that can help people stay afloat. But yeah, the bread and butter is people coming in and sitting down and having a couple of pints, right?
Right.
And people aren't doing that anymore. So, it's fortunate that we've been able to kind of shift the business a little bit and give people beer to go. And we've had this running now. This is our third weekend of doing it. We've set up with this and we had to create a different website for it. So we got anchorbeertogo.com and people can go on there and order, like I said, crowlers and growlers and 6-packs and 4-packs of beer that they can then take off premise and enjoy. But we can't have them even on a beautiful day like today. This beer garden would be packed this afternoon. People aren't going to be here. They're going to be standing in line.
Yeah, they will soon.
Yeah, soon we'll get to reopen, and we're excited about that. But in the meantime, that's how breweries are getting by. They're doing beer to go. There have been lots of different innovative things to keep people.
And you can actually take a tap and put a draft into a can and seal it and send it out.
Yeah, we can do that right back here. We got a little hand steamer. So yeah, like this is it's a can, but it's empty. And we've got a lid that we'll put on. So we'll fill it first you purge it with a little bit of CO2 and then fill it right up, fill it nice and gently, and then put the lid on, steam it up, and you can take it to go. It doesn't last forever. This is not, recommended for much longer than a week, but a crowler is a really nice to go package. And
do you see yourselves maybe doing that down the road once the tap room opens and restaurants?
We have it for the tap room. We started selling crowlers probably about a year ago, but they've never been a big thing for us. Now suddenly the sales have gone like this on that particular package.
Yeah,
because we can't sell points anymore.
Exactly. And is it growler or a crowler? How do you say that?
Those are two different things. So a growler is the glass bottle one, or they're not all glass bottles. There are various different designs for growlers, and they range in size from 32 ounces up to 64. I've seen even bigger. The crowler is a can growler. So
gotcha.
Go type of thing.
I've had a few in my day.
Therefore, and with these cans, we can use, where I am right now is in Anchor Public Taps, which is our pilot brewery and tap room, and it's where we do all of our innovation brewing for Anchor Brewing. So all the things that we're making that are not the things you find on the shelf at Safeway or Costco, but the things that we're developing for the future or just creating new fun things. We've actually, we made a seltzer for the first time ever. Seltzer in place.
Oh, no way.
And it's got raspberry and lemon in it, and it's based on a cocktail. It's pretty darn good.
It's pretty good, I bet.
Yeah, for those of us who are resisting that seltzer fad, it's a fun thing for people and a fun thing to make. So we've got that along with hazy IPAs and double IPAs and all of our standard brands, of course, as well. But the to-go package, those crowlers, whatever we got here, we can put it in a crowler to go.
Sometimes some of the breweries make beers that kind of resemble the times. Is there going to be a isolation IPA coming out from Anchor or anything like that?
Yeah, there might be. We've thought along those lines. Seltzer in place was the best we could come up with for now.
Good enough. Let's talk about Anchor's Stay Strong San Francisco campaign. You guys are trying to help out the Bartenders Guild across America, because these restaurant workers and bartenders too have been hit so hard because can't go to work, nothing's open, and what do you do?
Yeah, and it's really tough for bartenders, especially because, as you know, they live on tips. You were a bartender, and you know that that portion of the income is just gone right now. And so the US Bartenders Guild, we reached out to them, and we're working with a local artist named Jeremy Fish, who has designed a pretty sweet graphic that we are putting on t-shirts. And so I'll show you. Here's the graphic. This is it. It's, I got it there in the screen, Stay Strong, San Francisco. So Stay Strong SF, all about, the logo there, that's a phoenix, which is also part of the San Francisco flag, right? And so the phoenix rising symbolizes, coming back to life and rising once again. And so Jeremy's created this really cool artwork that's been on some big spaces around town. And then we've got those prints that we're just giving away. But then this is how we're actually raising the money, is the t-shirts. So the t-shirts can be bought on our website, on that same website that I mentioned, the Anchor Beer to Go, where you can buy our beer. You can also buy these shirts. 100% of the proceeds of the shirts go to the US Bartenders Guild. So to support those people who are not at this bar behind me right now. Normally on a Friday at noon, you'd see a packed bar and there'd be bartenders there pouring beer. But they're not right now. And that's not just this place, but it's every bar in town.
Right.
Every bar in the state of California. And across the country, it's many, many. So it's, something that we feel really strongly about, supporting the people who pour our beers, not just our beers, but everybody's beers and whatever else they're drinking. Our heart goes out to those people. Absolutely.
What kind of reaction have you gotten, obviously from the Bartenders Guild, but from patrons, from people? Are they helping out?
Yeah, people are definitely pitching in, helping out. They feel good about making a purchase like that, right? And helping people that they normally see across the bar, and are most people, as we said, they're at home drinking alone, or drinking on Zoom calls or whatever, or drinking with the two people they live with, but not going out to public spaces. And it's not just your friends that you see at a bar, it's the bartender too, right? And that's part of the experience.
Yeah, exactly. What is it about a nice solid beer on a Friday after a hard day's work, or after a game of softball, or after mowing your lawn? You get that frosty mug out and you walk around and go, job well done. It's part of America.
It's a reward you're giving yourself, right? And it's something that is, delicious, refreshing, takes the edge off a little bit, and just feels good.
Yeah. Will there be changes, do you think, in the future, how you guys make beer, certainly how it's served, because of what we've gone through with the coronavirus and self-distancing and that kind of thing?
Yeah, not so much around the way we make beer, because in the brewing process, go back centuries and remember that beer was the intrinsically safe beverage that you drank during the plague. If you drank beer, you didn't get sick. If you drank the water, you did. So the brewing process, the precautions that we take to keep things microbiologically pure are the same practices that you use, sanitizing, cleaning surfaces, cleaning tanks, cleaning equipment. All of that is something that brewers pay close attention to all the way through packaging. And so I think, bringing everybody up to those standards is very important. So as far as the way we make beer, I think we've always been solid, and maybe it gives us a little bit of opportunity to refresh everybody's memory about how important microbiology is and how important it is to keep things clean. And then the way we serve beer, though, yeah, I think that it's going to take people a while before they're comfortable being close to people again, when they haven't been for so long. And there's this fear that's been injected into our human relationships. So yeah, it's going to take people time before they want to go back into a crowded bar, before they want to be this close to someone else's face that they don't know. I think that's definitely
so true.
Yeah.
So true. Talk about the brotherhood behind beer makers. I did a story not too long ago on Sierra Nevada, met the owner there, who did his first batch of beer, I guess, with dairy equipment, and 40 years ago. And you got Lagunitas, which has since been bought out, but they're up the road from you guys. It's pretty close knit, because California is known for making some pretty good beer.
Yeah, the industry, I got into the industry back in the 90s and went to school here in Northern California. I went to grad school at UC Davis studying brewing. And when I was there, uh, I joined an organization called the Master Brewers Association of the Americas. And I was amazed to see in these meetings while I was still a student, meeting the people who made Sierra Nevada, who made Anchor, who made all these classic iconic brands, and there they were in the room, and I as a student could go talk to them. And also the big guys were there too, Anheuser-Busch and the bigger breweries, and there's this, especially on the production side, there's this cohesion between people who make any kind of beer, where we share ideas, we share thoughts, and ultimately we share our beers. That's the other thing about these meetings, was every brewery brought 6-packs and 12-packs and kegs of their own beer for us to taste. And at the end of the day, when you're tasting other people's beers and talking about it, talk about the process, and there's a shared experience there throughout the entire brewing industry.
Talk one more time about the campaign to help out the bartenders. If people want to do that, what do they need to do to get a t-shirt?
Okay. So yeah, there's these t-shirts that we're selling here and we have a website, Anchor Beer to Go, where you can just click and order. Yeah, I should hold it up better. There it is. You can click and order beer to go. You don't have to order beer to go. You can order just the shirt. But 100% of those proceeds go to the US Bartenders Guild. And so that supports directly these bartenders.
Right on. Well, Scott Ungerman, he is the head brewmaster there at Anchor Brewery in San Francisco. Want to thank you for joining us, Scott. Been a pleasure, and keep up the good work.
All right. Thanks. Nice talking to you.
All right. I'm Frank Malico with Fox here in the Bay Area. We'll send it back to you.